Greetings, everyone. My name is Safwan Akbar, and I welcome you to the Future Fest podcasts of 2023. Today, we have a very special guest with us. His name is Andreas Tsindos, and he is the CEO of MWAN Mobile. We will be having a conversation with him about MWAN Mobile, Future Fest, and what are the future plans for him, and expanding his market throughout the world. So, welcome, Andreas.
Thanks very much, Stefan.
Uh, how are you doing?
Very well, thank you. It's great to be here at the Future Fest
Uh,
for the second time.
for
So
the
I was
second
the
time.
one at the Islamabad as well
Oh, that's wonderful.
version, which was very good. So glad to be back.
Oh,
Thank you.
that's great. So obviously, Future Fest. This is the last day of the Future Fest, and I'm sure there are so many business and technological minds who have gathered from all over the world. How has the experience been with them, and what knowledge did you transfer to one another?
No, it's good. Future Fest, it might be the last day. However,
Mm.
normally in normal events, the last day is the quietest. But here in Pakistan, it's a Sunday. So yesterday was less busy. Friday was even less busy. But today is very busy because everybody's off work. So it's actually nice. So my session is today as well. So I'm doing a keynote on around 6 p.m.
That's great.
Again, you would think 6 p.m. is like the graveyard shift in events, but actually things run later here, so the event doesn't finish until 8:30. So
True.
it's not a bad session to have. So it's kind of in the middle of the day as such. So in terms of the event itself, it's very good. It's grown nicely. I've seen around, up to probably 3,000-4,000 people
Okay.
here in the exhibition and the conference. So it's a very nice event. You get a really good mix of people in kind of technology, innovation. It's been supported by senior organizations and government level as well, which is nice.
Absolutely.
So it has the whole ecosystem needed to develop the technology, especially in Pakistan.
All right. So MWAN Mobile, talking about the organization, it has been operating for over 10 years now.
Yes.
And it is based in London, Cyprus, and Pakistan as well.
Yeah.
So how have your past experiences with work management have helped you in making MWAN Mobile a successful organization?
So it's actually 12 years now since we've started MWAN Mobile.
Okay.
So MWAN is basically, we started off in traditional mobile value-added services, but we've always had our own technology capability, our own development team, because that's how you build your own IP.
Definitely.
We are still bespoke, we're still service-driven and delivering to our customers and partners. However, we've grown organically over that time.
Okay.
So we haven't, hired and fired. And I've identified kind of Pakistan as a really good base to have, because you have really strong development
Yep.
kind of universities and computer science courses. So you have really good guys and girls coming out
Yes,
of these
definitely.
universities, and they're really eager to get in and work. So I kind of bring the international angle from my past experience of over 25 years now,
Okay.
through technology, through kind of starting from telecoms into cloud, into now the blockchain. So since 2015, we've been developing on top of blockchain technologies,
Yep.
building our enablers. So we were one of the first, I wouldn't say first, but early development houses to actually have blockchain development.
Okay.
So I said to my team, guys, we need to become blockchain developers,
Oh, wow.
because there was no concept of a blockchain developer as such in those days. Everything was around crypto, everything was kind of done very loosely, developing the protocol levels, but there was no service integration or anything like that.
Alright.
There wasn't that concept at the time.
Definitely.
So now it's coming into its own. So over the last 7 years, we've done a lot of work around that. We also have a fintech arm. So we're
Yep.
regulated in the UK by the Financial Conduct Authority, and we're actually starting operations now between UK and Pakistan in the kind of global remittance market, which is another very important part for, especially for Pakistan, to bring in the inward remittances needed.
Right. Right.
As we know now, it's quite a tough time.
So as you mentioned about introducing blockchain technologies in MWAN Mobile, just walk us through the entire story and the idea behind it. Like, what made you feel like you had to include? Because at first you were just dealing with mobile services, and obviously a company has to develop in order to just expand throughout the world.
Yeah.
So, what made you feel like you had to include blockchain solutions as well in MWAN Mobile?
Yeah. So I was kind of following the Bitcoin kind of story,
Okay.
since kind of 2010. And I was following it. I didn't really pay much attention or too much interest into it. Well, I didn't want to go down that route of, I wasn't an investor, I wasn't trading or anything like that.
Okay.
So I just followed it. But around 2015,
Yes.
the price again started to go up. And I'm thinking, there's something here. There's this thing called Bitcoin. It's been going around for nearly
Quite a long time.
7 years now.
Yeah.
It's never been hacked. It's never been compromised in any way. It's gaining value, so there must be something here.
Oh,
So I started reading. So I've spent about 6 weeks reading virtually every single white paper and things that
Wonderful.
were out there at the time, and identified that the technology underlying it and what's powering it is what is the ultimate powerful use case for this.
Right.
So Bitcoin is a use case, but the technology enables that use case. So I saw the technology aspect of it as being really fundamental in where we need to go, especially decentralization, immutability, and proof of trust. That every element of our digital footprint needs to have at some point. So this is where I basically said, right, we need to develop a blockchain as a service enabler.
Yeah.
Again, adopting new technology kind of has this same projection every time.
Definitely.
Whether it's the internet, whether it was cloud, whether it's kind of fintech, it has that projection. So everybody starts by trying to build something, trying to own everything, and
Yep.
then ecosystems and enablers start and becoming interoperable. And
Okay.
right now we're still not interoperable enough. Everybody has different chains, and everybody works on a different chain.
Right.
There's still no cross functional
Yeah.
chains. So the service integration, if you want to get enterprises to go into the technology, you need to offer them an integration layer.
Definitely.
So still, and this is how we started. So we architected the platform in such a way that it can enable that getting the technology without having to go and build your own blockchain. I mean, nobody builds internet now, so they can develop an app.
Yeah.
So the internet's there. It's just an underlying protocol, and that's what blockchain for me is about as well. It's just the underlying protocol.
All right. So keeping the topic of blockchain under consideration right now, you see there are a number of blockchain infrastructures that are gradually developing and rising,
Yes.
not just in one part of the world, but obviously throughout the world. So why would someone? Let's consider that someone is new to this. Someone is new to blockchain.
Yeah.
How would MWAN Mobile help that person in that regard, and how would they assist that person if it's better to ask?
So as MWAN Mobile, obviously we have the development house. So people and developers that want to get into the technology,
Okay.
if they come to us, we have kind of really good knowledge. Some senior developers that have been working and are kind of self-taught blockchain developers, if you like. So if they come and join that team, they will have really good opportunity to work across real projects
Oh wow.
and with real customers, and also learn and have the option of learning and developing themselves in that. So I think this is where fundamentally we are different as such. It's because we're bringing real projects. It's
Wonderful.
we've been working with real customers and delivering real technology over the last 7 years in this space. So this is the difference. So it's not just theoretical. It's not kind of working on an MVP or a product idea. It's actually working with customers. So last month we launched a project for a company based out of Dubai, global. It's a fan engagement platform. That is built across 3 blockchains, protocols. we've got Polygon, we've got Ethereum and Binance built in, and Solana. They haven't enabled that,
Yes.
and the whole end-to-end solution is there with the whole back-end administration, etc. So getting your hands dirty, if you like, as a developer on those type of projects is really important, rather than theorizing something or working on something that you don't have that kind of end customer goal.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, how important is it to collaborate with such firms that obviously it can benefit both of the companies in a way? So, like, not just blockchain, you offer more than blockchain services. So, how important is it for, let's say, MWAN Mobile to uh, collaborate with other types of firms which offer the same services?
Yeah, so look, the ecosystem for me is very important. So I'm involved in the ecosystem
Okay.
space.
Hmm.
Um, people see me as somebody that is a collaborator, and
Wow.
without that collaboration, the space is not going to evolve. If you try and own everything yourself,
Hmm.
it just doesn't work. So it's very important, and especially here in Pakistan, I think the this because the development space is so big, what is needed now
Right.
is for that collaboration to come together and build the professionalism needed to grow it. So, if you want to make kind of the development space of Pakistan really strong and professional, you need to get that collaboration and that ecosystem working together and everybody kind of learning off each other.
Hmm.
And I think that's where the maturity level will come into it.
All right.
So it is very important.
It is very important. So, would you only describe yourself as collaborative when it comes to such an ecosystem? What else would you add to that? How would you describe yourself, if I'd ask, overall, in such a pressurizing and such a tough ecosystem? Because obviously, you have a huge responsibility and a lot of work to do because you're not just offering services in your own country. You have offices, as I said earlier, in London, Cyprus. So, how would you describe yourself and your behavior, and what advice would you give to others who are also uh, doing something similar? And what behavior should they have when it comes to an organization?
It's not easy running a company and starting it and growing it.
Yeah,
I think
undoubtedly.
you need to. It's just two ways. Either you go for lots of funding and try and get that, and you spend all your time trying to get money,
Uh-huh.
or you build something and start growing organically and building that. And ultimately, you need to grow a team. You can't do everything yourself.
Absolutely.
So having the team and making sure that team is with you in terms of your vision, and you need to guide that team in a way,
Yeah.
and have that kind of um, international approach where
Okay.
people see you that you're bringing international um, aspects, and especially if you're building a development team here in Pakistan, that's very important.
Definitely.
You know, when I have one of my team HR members when we're recruiting, speak to a potential candidate, if I speak to them first, the impact is different because they see straight away, okay, this is an international company,
Yes.
and they really want to be involved in that, and they really want to get into that space. So it's having, going back to your question, what do you need to do?
Yeah.
I mean, it's no written book for this, but you just need to go down to those steps. The team is for me is the most important. You need to maintain that team, make sure you find the right people that were with you for the long term, and grow together. I think that's the most important thing I've found.
That is absolutely, that is very motivating when it
Yeah.
comes. So, let's talk about delivering large scale projects to the government, since MWAN Mobile has been doing that for over 10 years, as you said, exactly 12 years. So, what, what are the challenges that you face in delivering such large scale projects?
Ultimately quality. You need to always deliver to the quality. There's many software houses out there.
Yeah.
We're not unique in any way, but trying to differentiate yourself in terms of how you deliver, how you manage, and the quality is where it comes out at the end of the day.
Wonderful.
So we don't advertise. Every new project we get is all word of mouth and recommendations, and that's the
Oh.
best thing. So once you get to that situation, it means that you're doing something right. It means that people see you and respect you, and they refer you to other potential customers, which is the main thing. But ultimately, the quality is the number one, and there's a lot of software that can get developed, and it's full of bugs, and it doesn't work, and try and avoid that. The development for us is probably a third, but then 2/3 is quality assurance, bug fixing, making sure things are working properly on all systems.
Okay.
So many times you open up an app and it's just like, well, it doesn't work. Yeah, obviously they haven't put the effort into to test it properly.
Yeah, to the software and stuff.
So
Okay.
that's basically how we manage things.
See, that's interesting because as you said that you don't advertise, but when some people are talking about businesses and starting their own organizations or startups, they obviously consider advertisement as a core point to consider, obviously, that you have to advertise, otherwise how will people know about your organization, how will you gain more customers?
Yeah.
So do you think that MWAN Mobile is different in that regard, or what other factors or what other steps does MWAN Mobile take to make sure that they're different from other
Look,
organizations?
it depends on the type of business. We're not a direct-to-consumer business. If you have a direct-to-consumer business, you acquire users, then of course marketing is and
Important.
advertising is very important.
Absolutely, yes.
We're a B2B, more of kind of service-orientated company, so it's different type of marketing and advertising. So what we're doing now is the best marketing. You put it out on your social media channels and to your network. You're building that reputation and that traction, and they see you. So, for example, our LinkedIn channel is very important.
Definitely.
We'll maintain that. So, we're nearly 5,000, I think, followers. So, for a relatively small company to have 5,000 followers is quite good. You go and see a lot of companies that they have 200, 300, maybe 1,000. But to build organically
Yeah.
that, not to go and buy followers, is important, because every time you put out a post, either from the company page or my own personal page,
Okay.
you get lots of visibility, and people that can relate to you and can potentially think, oh, hold on, Andreas is doing something, MWAN is doing something,
Yeah.
I've got this project I need, and then we'll
And
come
that's
to you.
how you can help them.
And events and networking is very important as
Very
well.
important,
So
yeah.
you need to do that. So you need to show your face and be there. So I remember I used to go to the Mobile World Congress in
Okay.
Barcelona every year,
Oh wow.
and been in telecoms. And I remember like 3 or 4 years in a row, I always used to go, and my badge always said MWAN Mobile, CEO MWAN Mobile. And so many times people said, oh, you're still that, because lots of people there were changing
Changing businesses.
businesses all the time.
Yeah.
But they see you're stable.
Yeah, that's
Yeah. So that stability is important
Brilliant,
as well.
brilliant.
They know that you're going to be there for them. So in fact, the first customer we ever had as a company, we still have. We're building now their third iteration of the website and an e-commerce shop. It's a guy that builds choppers.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
custom bikes.
Yeah, yeah.
And we still have him as a customer. And it was one of our first customers.
Oh wow, wow, wow.
So, that for me is the acid test.
See, it's really good to see so many different mindsets talking about their own experiences and stuff, and it just goes to show that there's not one thing that you need to do. You can innovate and you can try different things, which is very, very important. So, as we're moving towards the end of our conversation, we are at the Future Fest, of course, and my next question is exactly about the future. Where do you see MWAN Mobile in the next 12 years or the next 20 years?
Maybe not 20. I don't want to retire at some point.
Okay.
However, in the next 5 to 10 years, I think where we are now,
Yeah.
it's taken us a long time to get where we are. However, the last year, especially after COVID,
Yeah.
with digitalization and everybody wanting to get into the digital space,
Yeah.
we've kind of grown quite fast, I would say, in the last 12 to 18 months. So we
Wow.
kind of doubled in size.
Great, great.
And, that now is building up nicely. So we are seeing enough momentum. So I think this year and the next year and the next 24 months, I think if we carry on at this pace, we should be kind of doubling again.
Okay.
And, ultimately, I want to see the company being, at between the 150 to 300 person mark,
Absolutely.
and, delivering really high quality, kind of enabling technologies for the future of the Web3 space, I would say. Everybody's talking about Web3.
Yeah.
It's coming. Blockchain is one part of what Web3 is, decentralization.
Definitely.
So it's something that's going to come, and I think we're nicely placed to grow with that.
And we certainly hope that you do grow and MWAN Mobile gets to expand further. Uh, so that was Andreas Tsindos, and we had such a wonderful conversation. I'm sure the audience is absolutely enlightened by this and motivated by this as well. As he also talked about how he's sticking with this business and trying to make it more and more successful when it comes to a daily basis. So that was it from our side. My name is Safwan Akbar, and I will see you in the next podcast. Till then, take care and goodbye.